From Washington to Hollywood and right back to Wisconsin. It's Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. Connecting the dots on the stories shaping our world with smart takes, sharp humor, and plenty of personality.
You know, I really expected more professional behavior from you.
It's news and culture without the noise.
Yeah, I'm on.
Here's Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Dude.
All right. Hey, welcome, everybody. I am Pete Schwaba, along with Greg Bach and Mr. Dom Lee, working the board in Madison. Greg, of course, is in Racine Radio Park. I will never get that wrong. I am in Christmas City, USA, here in Marinette, Wisconsin, on this gorgeous Wednesday night here on the Civic Media Network. It is great to have you. We hope to ease your transition from the day, the work day, the drive home, whatever, to a pleasant, blissful evening. I think we can do that, Greg.
I can do that because the Brewers beat Tampa Bay this afternoon.
Well, that's
8-2. 8-2.
So they're 3-1. No,
They're 5-1. They're 5-1.
5-1. That is a great
5-1. They're 5-1, friends.
You know,
5-1.
It's funny. When I was younger, I used to follow every single game in the baseball season. I can't even get excited about it now until like mid-July.
Oh,
it's a long season, dude.
I went from, okay, so I don't think I've ever told you guys this story, but my baseball journey is interesting because 10 years ago, if you would have said to me,
was that a sarcastic transition music thing, Don?
It was.
Kind of felt like it. Okay, well, then I won't tell my story.
Greg is going to wail on you, dude.
Story is dead. The story is dead, and thus a wonderful story about becoming a bit better human.
Oh,
dead.
Pete, come on.
Done.
Yep.
Dom
that
kills it.
was uncalled for. Greg, please lay it on us.
I like baseball. End of story. All right, there we go.
Really didn't have the kind of bite I was expecting.
Well, it was going to bite. It was going to have a good turn. It was going to have a good. The second act was amazing, but then all of a sudden, Dom comes in with his sarcastic harps.
I just felt
highfalutin transition music.
I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Here's what we'll do. And this is what I do at home because I have sarcastic kids, and we're all kind of like try to be funny, and sometimes somebody's feelings get hurt, and we wait a minute, and then we want to tell the story because I would like to hear the story. So do you
my feelings aren't hurt. I have no feelings. No, I do. I totally have feelings. There's a lot of them. There's a lot. No, just 10 years ago, if you would have asked me if I wanted to go to a baseball game, I would have said, do you even know me? And I would have laughed in your face.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like baseball for reasons. I can get into that to another time. We don't have the time to get into that story. But yeah, just didn't really enjoy baseball. It's a whole thing. But point is, 10 years later, I am now the guy who the moment the World Series is over, I'm like countdown to pitchers and catchers reporting. Like,
wow.
I am like, for me, and Dom, you'll know this as a White Sox fan, and Pete, you will know this as a Cubs fan. You live with a certain amount of excitement during the season, but you're always in some level of anxiety because it's, I don't follow the Dodgers or the Yankees, and I'm not used to tons of rings and championship trophies. So for me, it's always like, right now we're 5-1, but there's that part of that Brewers fan mentality that says, when is it all going to end? So.
Well, and the offseason brings hope. I get that. Look, I'm a Bears fan. We've been struggling for years, and the most exciting time of the year for me, sadly, was the combine, free agency, and the draft because it brought hope. And I totally get that, but not that the Brewers are there. They're a great team. But yeah, it's no, I totally get that. That's awesome. Hey, we've got a cool thing we have to talk about here before we get to our news stories, and that is the first ever.
We have so much going on. So much happening. That's
true. So let's do this, and then we'll talk about our guests. Our first ever Nite Lite movie club, ladies and gentlemen. We're very excited about this. It is happening tomorrow in the 6 o'clock hour. Yes, and we will be talking our movie this week, and we're telling you this ahead of time, hoping that you all will take part in this and be part of the conversation. Tomorrow you can call in, or text in the movie this week. Our first ever nightclub movie club night is, speaking of baseball, The Sandlot, and that's a great one.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
So we're all going to watch it. Dom, Greg, myself, I've seen it 20 times. I'm halfway through a rewatch though, and we encourage everybody listening, watch The Sandlot, share your thoughts tomorrow. We'll explain more about it tomorrow, but that's this week's movie, and we're going to do this moving forward. It'll be fun.
Yep. It will also include a popcorn pick. There will be a popcorn pick in there. It's Thursday is going to kind of be like movie night in that second hour. That's what we're going to try to do with Movie Club. And so we'll have more information as we go. Tomorrow is like a tester, but we want you in on the ground level with us. So if you can, The Sandlot, if you have it on the DVD or the VHS or maybe even on a beta cassette, I don't know.
On a Tubi.
On a Tubi.
Yeah.
Or find it on the Disney Plus. It's there to watch as well. So watch it. And then tomorrow, join us, as Pete says, join us and let us know your thoughts. I'm very much looking forward to this. I love that movie so much.
Me too.
So.
I can't wait. It's a great first movie for us to kick things off with. But we have a great show tonight, Greg. We've got Anisha Stephen will be here at 5:35. And Anisha is a nationally recognized expert in domestic tax policy and economic policy and mission-driven investing. And here's how desperately I want to talk to her. I don't even know what mission-driven investing is. So I'm very excited to talk to Anisha. Tax season is right around the corner. So she is the perfect, well, it is tax season. She's the perfect guest to have on just as our taxes are due in a couple of weeks.
Their title is former senior policy advisor at the Treasury and fellow at the Roosevelt Institute. It's like, okay, well, I'll just sit here and you talk to me.
Exactly. They have a very impressive resume. So they will join us over the stream to talk taxes at 5:35. And then in the second hour, one of our Nite Lite besties, Sherry Stoko, will be here. She is a nutritionist and a dietitian and the founder of Wayless MD and Wellness outside Milwaukee. We're going to talk a little bit, Greg, about GLPs. They are all the rage now for weight loss and diabetes. Sherry's got all the answers. And
they were all the rage for diabetes. Then they became a weight loss thing. People are like, hey, I need my diabetes medication, please.
Wink, wink.
So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this conversation because if you know me, you know that weight loss, weight struggle, weight loss journeys, things of that nature are something I'm very much invested in. I've done a lot of work and research in this for myself. I had a podcast for a while that dealt with this stuff.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah. And so I really could, again, another topic I could talk about for hours, and I can't wait to listen to Sherry explain, especially when it comes to things like these GLPs and also just keeping a nutritious diet, because I think that's very, very hard in today's day and age, both with every kind of ingredient our food is stuffed with, but also the fact that food is just more expensive. And so people see it as, well, I can't eat healthy because that's expensive. Well, you're expensive. We'll talk about more later. Again, I could literally spend the entire show talking about this topic. So Sherry is going to be a great discussion.
She's She's great. Very informative. Lots of fun. And, having said all that, why don't we get to our Nite Lite question of the night, Tom?
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Questions.
What athlete has the coolest name? What athlete has the coolest name?
And boy, howdy, have people given us some interesting ones so far.
Yeah, not necessarily the most phallic name. I think there was a misconception when the question went out on social media earlier, but those are fun too. We'll read those. But, there's a lot of cool names. And I'm going to give people an example now just so they know. My favorite, not favorite, it's just, I always thought it was a cool name. There was a safety who played for the Patriots, and his name was Lawyer Malloy. It just rolls off the tongue. Wow. Lawyer Malloy. I love that name.
Lawyer Malloy. Boy, your parents named you for something, and you did not deliver.
He did not deliver, but I think he did okay. 15 years in the NFL. He's probably got a few headaches these days, but probably did very well for himself. So anyway, join the fun. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Let us know what your favorite pro athlete or just athlete name is. And if you want to go dirty within reason, we can read that. But if you want to be serious, there's some great names out there. And sometimes you have a name, Greg, I think you have to go into pro sports.
Absolutely. And we'll know if you guys are referencing that Key and Peele sketch. So we'll know exactly if that's the case.
Yep. Exactly.
So like Le Carpatron Duke Marriott. I love that name so much. It's one of the funniest ones ever. But we'll talk more about that in the second hour. Let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, you can also download the Civic Media app. You can text call, you can leave a voice message, and you don't even have to like us to leave a voice message. I know that. I have messages that say, Greg, I don't like you. So
I tried to use a fake voice. I'm sorry. I just, it was one of those days. You know,
I knew it was you immediately.
Dom
I could
bad mouthing you.
I could hear like, welcome to Christmasville in the background. So I was like, oh, it's Pete.
That's me.
So yeah, do that. Get the Civic Media app. You can listen to shows live, whether it's talk or music. You can do that all with the Civic Media app. Get your news. It's great. Download it today. Plus, when we have text to win contests like we just did last week, you can be a part of that. So be part of the club. Be cool. Get the Civic Media app.
Be part of the show. Absolutely. So I think without further ado, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about here in the next few minutes. So
fun.
I think we should get to our three big things, Dom.
Wonderful.
The first big story.
So the Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments on whether or not birthright citizenship should be a thing. This is following President Trump's executive order to limit birthright citizenship in the future, which stipulates that babies born in the United States to undocumented immigrants and some temporary foreign residents will no longer be granted citizenship automatically. Isn't that convenient, Pete?
It is, especially when I'm pretty sure his son Barron would qualify as a birthright citizen.
So would Marco Rubio. His parents were not citizens when he was born. This would affect, but the thing is, it says future that limits birthright citizenship in the future, stipulates that babies born in the United States, the undocumented immigrants, and some temporary, they'll have a ton of workarounds and don't worry about you, you're fine. Last time I checked, hold on, let me see here. That stipulation is
he's going to the legal pad.
Part of the Constitution. So,
oh,
and here's the interesting thing too, is that the president was there for oral arguments, which is something you don't generally see.
Was that the first time ever? I thought I read that.
Well, I think it was the first time he ever went. I don't know about other presidents, but it's the first time he ever went. And he was met with a lot of boos because he is not liked, especially on things like this. There was a whole host of people outside protesting this hearing. And this is, honestly, this is one of this season, and it's weird you say that, but it's the season for the Supreme Court is full of a lot of important decisions. And this is one of them. This is about reworking the Constitution just so they can have their way with immigrants and voting, and it's all part of Project 2025, which we talked about for a long time.
Great point. And according to CNN, anyway, it is this is the first time a sitting president sat in on arguments at the Supreme Court. So there you go.
Do you think all of a sudden they were like, and here in today's courtroom, and you just heard, oh, someone wake up Don, he's asleep again.
It'll be interesting. I guess they'll have a decision by end of June, I think they were saying. So that will be interesting to watch.
It did say here on ABC News, it said a majority of justices, that's hard to say, a majority of justices appeared skeptical of his administration's bid to end birthright citizenship during arguments in the landmark case on today. So, they can kind of call where it's going to go based on their questions, but we'll see what happens in June.
At the very least, there's some pushback now from certain justices, Roberts and Barrett and Gorish. So, we'll see what happens. But we've got more stories to get to, folks. Our question of the night, what is the best athlete name? We are coming right back. This is the Civic Media Network. I'm Pete Schwaba. He's Greg Bach, and this is Nite Lite.
Oh, and he's gone.
Oh, my gosh.
Where's Pete?
There he is.
Okay.
At first, the way that chair was sitting, everything, it looked like a dentist chair. I'm like, oh, my gosh, you have dentist equipment?
I like to get a teeth cleaning every day right before I go on the air. I feel fresh.
Got to.
John Gotti got a haircut every day.
Is that true?
Yep. Got a haircut every single day.
He's got his quirks.
Mm-hmm. And God forbid, I used to think about this a lot when I was a barber. I'm like, could you imagine being the barber who, I'm sure he had the one guy and he always did it and it always was perfect. Could you imagine being the guy who he cut it and he goes, I'm not liking this. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll move to New Jersey.
The guy who accidentally gave John Gotti a perm. Oops.
Yeah.
Clip it, Dom.
Yeah.
Yes. There we go. Yes.
Everything I
Alrighty.
say, I'm going to say clip it.
Hey, Dom, would you do me a solid? Oh, no, it's fine. I'll do it. You're doing enough. Don't worry about it. Never mind that question.
Okay. All right.
I was going to say the whole what's the word I'm looking for? Moon stuff. The moon.
Oh, did it happen? It should be happening right now, right?
Like any moment. But I mean, who knows? I mean, like it said it's supposed to be 5:24. It could be 5. It could be scrubbed any moment too. So
The guy lost the keys. You don't know what's going
I thought I put them in my pocket.
on. Oh, no.
Guys, we got to go back.
I meant to clip that funny Simpsons when Homer goes up into space. You ever see that one?
I was on
Brilliant.
a podcast for a while called A Visitor's Guide to Springfield because the conceit was my friend is a super fan. He still watches it to this day, loves The Simpsons, defends even these seasons.
Okay.
I never watched it growing up, so we'd watch episode by episode, and I'd be like, okay. Like, he was always trying to get me to love The Simpsons. I said, I'll never love The Simpsons like you do. You love The Simpsons as a teenager. I'm in my 30s, my late 30s. I'm just watching.
10 seconds.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see
Well
what
done,
spring
Dumley.
is like on
That's wonderful.
a Jupiter.
Little Sinatra as we send yet another
other
spacecraft to the moon. We've done
Or
this
so
before.
they say.
This isn't their first rodeo. Everything should go fine. We hope it does. But we'll keep you posted. This is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. I am Pete Schwaba. Sitting downstate from me is Greg Bach. And we have a great show tonight, folks. Our question of the night is, what is your favorite athlete name? Could be a pro athlete, college, whatever. Could be from Key and Peele, like Greg picked. But share with us a really cool athlete name, and we will read it on the radio. That is always fun. Right now, we have to get back to our 3 big stories.
Yes.
The second big story.
This
Okay.
one is pretty
Oh,
amazing.
go ahead, Greg.
No, I
Yeah,
was gonna
it
say, you
is.
go for it. Like you brought this up to me. Go ahead. This is
I
amazing.
I don't love it because it usually involves murder and it's very grim, but a cold case story always fascinates me. And Kenosha police, according to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, made an arrest in an unsolved murder case from 1977. 68-year-old James Fowler was arrested in Tennessee for the alleged murder of Ralph Gianoli. They do have DNA, so I guess it's alleged still. There's not, well, that's pretty conclusive, but we'll see what happens. But 1977, he's 68 now, Greg. That means he was roughly 18 at the time of the murder. And at the time of the murder, Gianoli, I believe, was like 48. So I still don't know what the connection between the two people is, but he was strangled and beaten. Horrible.
It's
In Kenosha.
in Kenosha. I can only imagine what kind of, like, it's one thing that, like, it probably brings relief to the family, but it also opens up an old wound for the family. So hopefully there's some sort of justice. I mean, again, this man's been arrested. He has, I'm not saying he's guilty. This is all alleged. This is all, whatever legal stuff keeps me from getting sued. But
Right.
I'm sure we'll find out more. This is where my brain goes. I'm sure there will be a podcast devoted to this story. Someone will put it out there.
course.
A cold case of we love ourselves some murder. But it will be interesting to see where this goes. But as we all know, the statutes of limitation do not apply to murder. And this gentleman, what was his name again? James Fowler. I mean,
James Fowler, yeah.
I always wonder. I mean, this is kind of a dark inquiry. But if you commit such a horrendous act back in 77, that was the year I was born. So that was nearly 49 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Is there any point in your life where you let go and you're like, I'm just living my life? Or do you always have like a portion of your insides? It's like, I might get caught today. I might get caught today.
Yeah.
Today might be the day. You can't live perfectly joyous because that always hangs over your head. I don't know. It's again, we'll see what happens in the next few months with regard to this case.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, He's 68. It's been 50, almost 50 years.
Yeah.
He's got to, at some point, he had to think, I'm in the clear. You know, apparently they found DNA from evidence collected from Gina Lee's fingernails many years ago. So, and there could be more to the story. I mean, an 18-year-old and a guy in his late 40s, that's just, your mind starts to go crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see the circumstances. Maybe he says why he did it. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, exactly. We'll definitely be finding out more as the months go on. But that's, right here in our backyard, in my backyard, like literally where I live. So very, very interesting story coming out of Kenosha. Really quick update, 8.5 minutes before Artemis 2 launches its mission to go to the moon. So we'll, hopefully have more information for you. It was on hold for a little bit, but let's get to our third story.
The third big story.
So this is two stories jammed into one because it's about ridiculous hypocrisy. And yesterday we discussed the point that a helicopter just flew over Kid Rock's house because that's what happens now. And they were, and from what we were told in the story, the pilots or the people who were piloting the helicopter itself were suspended, were, got in trouble, got a talking to.
By their superiors,
Yep. Pete Hegg said, don't worry. Old Petey's got you covered. Stepped in and said, don't worry. Exonerated. Done. Don't worry about it. Had a good time. Because he probably thought that they flew over the real White House, but he doesn't realize that Kid Rock's house looks like the White House.
Right.
But it also has an east wing, so I'm not positive. It's all wonderful stories coming out of Michigan. So, and the second story is Kristi Noem's husband has got a hobby.
Oh, boy.
And if you haven't seen already, there were pictures released of Kristi Noem's husband. His name is Brian Noem. And there's pictures of him, allegedly cross-dressing. And he came out today to make a statement. And his statement was, I will at some point. Today is not the day. I appreciate your heart, he said in a brief message to the New York Times. So he has not said anything. Kristi Noem has not said anything. We don't know what's going on. All we have are the pictures and the blaring hypocrisy. So eat that up for dinner, folks. Love
It's
it.
family values. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't like labels. I don't like the term cross-dressing. He was dressing. He happened to be dressing over a couple huge balloons he put under his shirt and wore pink panties. But that, whatever. The guy's got his quirks. We've all been to fetish websites, right, Tom? I think... Tom put the brakes on that one.
April Fools.
Again, I don't care what the guy does. I really don't. But it's like you said, Greg, it's the hypocrisy. It's the, the left doesn't have family values and all that nonsense they've been spewing for years. So that's
the
my issue with
drag
this.
queens, Pete. The drag queens.
Exactly.
So,
and then with Hegseth too, it's like showing no respect for your the army, really, because they're the ones. Let them police themselves. These guys went off book or went off course and did something they shouldn't have. Okay, let them get their repercussions and move on. But to make a big scene about how you're stepping in because it's Kid Rock, that's another bit of hypocrisy too, Greg. They hate celebrities, a lot of them in the White House, but that's their celebrity, so it's okay.
Exactly. It's hard to run a business when the guy who's like the major guy in charge says, don't worry, I've got you covered. And then there are no rules because they can simply go, I'll just go talk to Uncle Pete. He'll make it all better because you're just a general. What does it matter from you? So, I mean,
Absolutely.
It's another story for the pile for all that hypocrisy, but we'll talk more about that in the future. Pete, what do we have coming up in a moment?
Anisha Stevens is next, folks, a nationally recognized expert in domestic economic policy and taxes. We're coming right back. It's Nite Lite with Pete and Greg.
All right, we are back.
Wonderful.
All right, and we have our next guest. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Anisha?
Anisha, yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here this evening, this afternoon, whatever time it is. Time's an
Thank you
illusion.
for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Our pleasure.
We are at a longer break right now. This is a news break, so we have about 4.5 minutes. When we come back, what we'll do is we'll put you into the waiting room, which is where you were just located. We'll do an introduction of the show. We'll introduce you properly. I just want to make sure that we have former senior policy advisor at the Treasury and a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute.
Yes.
Excellent.
So
Greg, I like that intro better than the one I have. Do you want to bring Anisha on?
Of course, yeah, I'm happy to do that. And then it's Stephen.
Stephen, yes.
Stephen. All right, Stephen. All right. And then Dom, you want to give them the spiel on the signals?
absolutely, yes. So this is going to be a 14 minutes. So when we're nearing the end, when there's about a minute left or 3 minutes left, I'll give that. That's 3 minutes. That's 2 minutes. And that's 1 minute. When it hits 1 minute, that means it's time just to wrap up your thoughts. And then we're going to go into break. So when I put up this, that means it's time to wrap it up.
And we say that because we have really hard breaks. Like it's out of our control. The computer takes over. So that's why we ask you to wrap it up with 1 minute left.
Okay.
And our Wisconsin DNA makes us feel bad when we have to interrupt you. It just like hurts us on the inside when we're like, so rude to interrupt them. Great. Do you have any questions for us?
No questions. Ready to
Perfect.
go.
All right.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All
Wonderful.
right,
Well, thank you. Welcome. And we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. If you want to be part of the conversation, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. Coming up in the second hour, we'll be talking with Sherry Stoka. She's returning friend of the show. She's owner and founder of Weightless MD to talk about GLPs, GLPs 1s and 2s, as well as just, keeping a nutritious diet, keeping healthy, especially as the springtime approaches. But we talk about that. And then wrapping everything up with the nightcap. Plus, if you want to tell us about who is the athlete you think has the coolest name, you can text that in via the Civic Media app or just by your phone. Love to hear from you on that. We'll talk more about that in the second hour as well. But let us bring on our first guest. They are a former senior policy advisor at the Treasury and a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute. Please welcome to the show, Anisha Stephen, here to the program. Good evening, Anisha. How are you tonight?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. And we are officially, this is the time where people are starting to panic. It is April 1. They have a few more days left before the tax deadline. And I'm just going to be super blunt because I want your expertise opinion. With all of the stressors that come with this time of year for regular folks trying to file taxes and do all the work, how has it been made harder by this current administration as far as just people trying to file their taxes and trying to do it correctly so they make sure they don't get in trouble, get the best return as possible? It was never easy to begin with, but it feels like it's even harder now.
It's definitely a lot harder this year. As you said, we are sort of towards the end of filing season. It started earlier this year. We are expecting that 164 million Americans will file this year. But there was a Inspector General report that came out right before the filing season started that showed just how painfully unprepared the IRS is for everything that's going to be happening over certainly the next few weeks, but also probably for the rest of the year.
A really quick peek, if I can follow up. It's one thing, when I think of being unprepared, I can think of myself being unprepared, waiting until the last minute, getting my paperwork, all that stuff. When you say the IRS is unprepared, what do you mean by that? Because to me, that makes me even more nervous for my filings not getting received or whatnot. But how are they not prepared?
So since a year ago, the IRS is down 30% of its staff. Those staff are responsible for customer service, for filing or receiving and processing returns, sort of providing advice and guidance to the public. Without 30% of their staff, the IRS is severely under-resourced. Specifically in the tax return processing unit, they have only fulfilled 2% of their hiring. So they're down 98%. Of the people that they usually bring on for tax return processing. And they've also just, because of the lack of staff capacity, they don't have folks on the phone to be able to answer the questions of the American people. The IRS is an agency whose real purpose is to serve the American public, right? This is the time, tax season, almost every American interacts with the IRS. And, not being able to fulfill on the promise and sort of the mission of that agency is really, really tough for so many people. Taxes are really important, not just for the sort of health of our economy and our fiscal apparatus, but I always say that people in this country often live paycheck to paycheck, but they also actually live refund to refund. Many people are expecting sort of this one-time infusion from the IRS to, pay outstanding credit card bills or, pay upcoming rent or mortgages. So having delays or not being able to get someone on the phone, it's going to be pretty hard for a lot of people.
That's really interesting. Anisha, given that the IRS might be dysfunctional at the moment, would you advise, a lot of people have money taken out of their paycheck. Some people set money aside quarterly. What is the best way to pay? It seems like it would be better to put money away quarterly and pay when you're ready to pay as opposed to waiting for that refund if you need it. Am I wrong about that?
Well, they're all sort of specific to each person's specific circumstances. I can't give tax advice, but what I can say is specifically for this filing season, if you have the ability to electronically file, you should. The IRS has a significant paper backlog right now. So if you're going to be filing through paper, expect your return to be delayed and also your refund likely to be delayed. One of the big things that the IRS did this year and didn't really tell anybody about was that they are no longer issuing paper checks. So if you are an older person, if you are one of the millions of Americans who don't have a bank account, if you live in a rural community, there are many, many, many Americans who don't have direct deposit information that they can put onto their returns. And with all of the challenges going on at the IRS, you really should try to use a tax preparer of some kind who can give you advice around your individual circumstances. The one thing I would flag about that is the tax prep industry is notoriously scammy. So if you are going to pay someone to help you file your taxes or answer tax questions for you, please make sure they're a reputable person, and that you are getting sort of a good deal for what you are receiving. I hear a lot about people getting social media ads for, like, if you're a single parent and you need the biggest refund, someone will be able to give that to you. That is usually a scam. Make sure that you are working with a reputable provider.
And I, a really quick story from a couple of years ago. We went to a provider for ours, and she was recommended, and she was nice. And we're used to filing in 2 separate states because my wife works in Chicago. And when I said, "Oh, you didn't file in Illinois," she just goes, "You don't need to do that," and winked at me. And I said, "This isn't good." So, like, it's not even like online scams. You got to really do your research, and we had to go back and amend some things. It was really odd, but for folks out there who don't have direct deposit, might not have a bank account, or don't have the deep knowledge of how to do those types of things, what are they going to do? I mean, will that money just sit there waiting for them, or are they going to, what is their pathway to, like, all right, you got to open up a bank account now? I mean, how did they approach this?
So there was a recent congressional hearing where we sort of heard about this for the first time, that close to 1 million Americans have already filed their taxes and not included their bank account information because either they didn't know that they needed to, or they don't have a bank account. The response from the IRS has been to send a letter to those households to say that you can create an online account and include your information that way to update the IRS. Again, this is going to present a lot of challenges to many of those communities that don't have consistent internet access, folks who were not able to do online banking to begin with. I think there will be an option to get a paper check once you go through a number of hoops with the IRS, but it is not easy. And again, it's sort of an attack on the most under-resourced in our communities to be able to get these refunds without the paper check.
Anisha, in a recent interview, you said that the IRS is sharing our information with ICE. What's the plan there? Are they going after undocumented people that way, or do they want everybody's information? You also said recently that you made a mention of, like, that undocumented immigrants pay over $3 billion in taxes, and they're not documented, and they don't get some of the public services. Why is the IRS sharing our information with ICE?
So thankfully, the IRS has been told to hold off on sharing more information with ICE, according to a recent lawsuit. But starting last year, there was sort of an unprecedented agreement between Homeland Security and the IRS for information about undocumented people. I think the really big sort of challenging part of this is not just that they're sharing information that is private and there are strict privacy laws. It's that we are compelled to pay our taxes, certainly by law, but we have a lot of faith in the IRS that this is a government agency that is apolitical, right? Like, it is a compulsory act that we all go through. If you think about the IRS, that database of information is the most powerful database in the entire country. It has all of your income information. It has your partner's income information, who your kids are, who pays you, how you get paid. Everything about you is sort of documented at the IRS. And for it to be used for something that's not about the pure purposes of tax administration is definitely illegal, but also just reduces the faith in government to deliver what a government is supposed to do to serve the people. Undocumented immigrants do pay a significant amount in federal, state, and local taxes. I think at the federal level, the most recent number was about $66 billion. And you're right, they don't get very much in return for paying that. And again, it goes back to the sort of social contract that we have between people and the government. We're told, and we tell undocumented folks to pay their taxes because it will help them be part of our communities, be part of our society, potential pathways to citizenship. And then to weaponize that against them, it's pretty devastating for many people. And there is a recent report from a more conservative think tank that actually said the payments of undocumented immigrants have kept the American economy going for decades, right? They're a big contributor to not just our like overall economy, but our fiscal health and our tax contributions.
It's almost like, Anisha, and I'm not an expert, they're doing it the right way. I don't know. That's just me. That's what they were always told to do. But Anisha Stevens is our guest right now. They are a senior policy advisor at the U.S. Treasury, as well as a fellow right now at the Roosevelt Institute, talking about tax season and the changes, especially at the IRS. I mean, a year and a half ago, the IRS was going after major cases where people were either underpaying or not paying their taxes, taking in over $100 million. I mean, I don't know the exact number, but like they were on the case to get this money from folks who had been stashing money, not paying, and they had gotten so much money. And then as soon as this administration came in, that seemed to just stop almost immediately.
Yes. I mean, I think that's right. I obviously worked in the previous federal administration, the Biden-Harris administration, and we spent a lot of time and effort to make sure that the wealthiest and those who are sort of evading their taxes are paying their fair share. Again, this is our societal contract, people and their government. Everybody should contribute to the fiscal health of our country. And it's unfair that there are many people who choose not to.
Yeah.
And so there was, hundreds of billions of dollars that was dedicated to the IRS that was reduced over time, but really to increase capacity to go after enforcement of tax evaders. And it was quite successful. Last year and the previous years were probably the most successful tax filing seasons that have happened in recent memory, according to the taxpayer advocate. And in 1 year, the Trump administration has taken all of that apart. I think specifically those folks in the offices that have been reduced are those who sort of go after wealthy folks or folks who are not paying their fair share of taxes. And then there were a lot of this sort of enforcement agents that were also sent to the border to help with Department of Homeland Security.
I just looked it up just to make sure, and according to the U.S. Treasury website itself, it said $1.3 billion in unpaid taxes were collected as of September of 2024. And they tried to spin the narrative of like they're going after the truck drivers and the barbers and the waiters and waitresses, when really they were going after, as you said, the folks who are the richest of the rich because they owe their fair share. So they were doing a good job. But that has all since ended. We're going to keep the conversation going at the other side of the break with Anisha Stephen here. They are a former senior policy advisor and at the U.S. Treasury and a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute. If you have any questions, feel free to call or text 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on the live stream. Be part of the conversation. But we'll come right back. You are watching or listening to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. Stay tuned and stay close.
And you're working for no one but me.
All right.
Ironic thing about that song, it's a song about people not wanting to pay their fair share. So, love the Beatles, but they were whatever. All right, so this is a longer break, Anisha, and we'll be coming back in a few minutes. If there's anything you need to do, feel free. Anything, are we nailing it, or we just want to make sure we're doing everything correctly for you and make sure we're doing good by your time?
Yeah, all sounds good. How long is the next thing? And will that be the last one?
Yes, so the next one's 7.5 minutes. It's the last one. And then when we're done, don't go anywhere. Stick around here because we just got one last thing we need you to do. Other than that, we're good. It will go very fast. Before we know it, it'll be done. But other than that, we're great. Thank you so much again for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Pete, your camera is good.
Yep. Pete
It was
looks
before,
beautiful.
though, too. Or that worked the last time. So I just
It
sign
cle-
out after every break?
It cleared up halfway through.
It did. It did.
Yeah, so I don't know. But you're back and we're happy. I'm happy.
happy.
I can't
I'm
speak
happy.
for anybody else, but I'm happy.
I'm always happy.
The Brewers won. I'm really happy.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. We have 2 minutes.
Wonderful.
Minutes.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. You can always get in touch with us. Call or text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. Leave a comment on that live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. That's the word. Words are tough. We are speaking with Anisha Stephen, who is a former senior policy advisor at the U.S. Treasury and a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute. We are talking about taxes, tax season, the IRS, and everything therein. And something that, is, I think that I want to bring up really quick, you spoke about earlier, was the fact that with these new rules that don't allow for people to get paper checks, at least right away, that these new burdens will fall disproportionately on as what's unbanked households. Essentially, that affects a lot of black and brown folks. It just has its effects on a lot of people who just, I don't want to say targeted, but it just seems like this is what always seems to happen when they take away simplicities and conveniences. It always affects certain groups of individuals in this country, and that's what it seems to be doing with folks who are disproportionately affected by these changes. Is that true? Am I wrong to assume that?
Yeah, I think that's right. Again, the millions of Americans that are unbanked are predominantly low-income folks and often Black and brown folks too, but also rural communities, places that just don't have a lot of banking infrastructure, formerly incarcerated folks, people who are experiencing domestic violence. There are often reasons why people sort of need to stay outside of the banking system for various reasons. But, I worked in the federal government. There are many ways you can handle a change like this responsibly, and this administration just didn't do it, right? The IRS serves the entire American people. And in order to do that, you have to take into account that there are some people who, for decades have been getting paper checks and now aren't going to be able to. There are many options that they could have pursued to make sure that people get the money that they're owed. But I think probably because of the lack of capacity at the IRS and probably some other political reasons, they decided that they didn't want to actually be responsible.
Yeah. Anisha, I might be in the minority here, but I always felt like there were years I had to pay more taxes than others. I almost kind of felt patriotic. I loved knowing that it was going to firefighters and librarians and teachers. Maybe I'm in the minority there. I don't know how we reframe this to say, and nobody wants to pay more than they should, but they should at least pay their fair share. Having said that, we got a texter on the text line, Mark from Prairie du Sac, who says, I'm sorry, I lost the text there. It was actually Andrew from Maine. He says, speaking of reputable tax assistance, is there a specific certification us normals should look for?
There are so many types of different tax preparation providers, whether you use one of the big online services or just a regular accountant. I think it's better, rather than take my advice on specific licenses or whatever to get, to really sort of look in your community and see who has done well for other folks too. Again, you want to make sure that someone is understanding your specific situation. Tax is very complicated, and you want someone to understand the ins and outs of what you're going through, and able to answer all of your questions, and also be able to talk to the IRS on your behalf if needed. One of the things that happened over the past year that I think a lot of people are not sort of focused on is, the Republican Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill. So we're also in a new complicated tax law season. So people for the first time are looking at, taxes on overtime, which actually ended up being much more complicated than was promised during the drafting of the bill and so on. So again, all Americans should be able to take advantage of all the benefits that the tax system provides to them, but it's very complicated to do alone.
It feels like to me it's going to be a lot like 2017, 2018, where it's like it felt like, oh, I'm getting a little bit more, and then all of a sudden I'm paying a lot more. I mean, I have been paying to the federal government for I don't even know how many more years now, and it just feels like it all came from the first term, and now this seems like it's going to be even worse, and they're not prepared, as you said, to deal with the bill they passed, and the IRS isn't equipped to handle maybe this year. This is just your personal opinion. I'm not asking for like any sort of official statement, but do you think because with all this, we might see they might say something effective, you have until the end of April, because it might just be so overwhelming for the IRS itself. They might even just extend it for Americans because they themselves need the time.
I don't know if they would extend it for Americans. I just think the processing time and refund times will be longer. And, it's not easy to deal with the IRS on like a good year, right? Paying taxes is challenging. There's always a delay for many Americans, but I think this year will be, again, unprecedented. And, I think the bigger question is sort of how long this goes on for. So this is one tax season where we're seeing all these hiccups and bumps in the road. It's very hard to recruit people to the IRS now after all of the attacks on federal workers that went on over the last year. I think it's going to be, again, this is just the first year of this tax season being bumpy, and we're likely going to experience it in the future as well.
I don't know if we can squeeze in a very fast call here for Anisha, but Mark from Prairie du Sac is on the line. Can we take that quickly, Dom? Very quickly.
He's got you got to say what you need to say, Mark, in like 20 seconds.
You got 20 seconds, then we need a quick answer from Anisha. But go ahead, Mark.
It really pays to have extra employees working for any Department of Revenue. I know in the state of Wisconsin, it brings in a lot of dollars having those extra employees working, actually policing those returns that they need to police. And it would have been easier just to, for the tax code, just to boost up the exemption up to like the patriotic millionaires going up to $45,000, $50,000 and leave it there. That income is exempt, and then everybody gets the same tax cut, and the rich have to pay there rather than all these complicated rules on overtime and tips.
Okay, thank you so much for It was a statement. It was a thought.
That's all you wanted to share. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much,
you,
Mark, for calling. We appreciate you. And Anisha, Stephen, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you so much for
Anisha is a
having me.
former, of course, please come back. Make this all make sense to us. They are a former senior policy advisor at the U.S. Treasury and a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute. Thank you so much again for being our guest. Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Thanks, Anisha.
All right, when we come back, we'll be talking about the question of the night here on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network. Stay tuned. Stay close. All right, you are all set. Thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha.
All you need to do now, there's a button at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if it looks red or orange. There's a debate on what color the button is. But you can press that button. It'll sign you out and upload your video and audio, and you're good to go.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Have a great
Thanks,
night. Take
Anisha.
care.
Have a good night.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Is my camera still funky?
It's
Your
perfect
camera's
now.
great. It's actually working great now.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
I am going to go check my connection really quick with the Ethernet cord. Although Casper told me to leave on my wireless as well. He said leave them both on. And in the past, someone told me to turn wireless off. So
Wait, what?
I always defer to Casper, but
No,
It was
wait,
another-
what did he, wait, what's happening right now?
I'm going to check my Ethernet connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
someone else once told me undo your wire, or take your wireless off and just use Ethernet.
Yeah.
I think Casper said keep them both on in case, but I always defer to Casper.
But you have the
so-
hotspot too, right?
I do.
Cool. Excellent.
Kind of lukewarm right now, but yeah. No, I do.
Funny. Everyone's funny.
That was impressive getting Mark in. Mark had.
That was a
things to
yep.
say.
Thank you, Mark.
know,
I
it was-
think Mark is
Appreciate
watching on the live stream too. So thank you, Mark, for
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I should have said it was a statement we could, but yeah, I was glad he got his call in.
yeah. All right, I'll be right back. I'll be back in a moment.
Cool beans.
Trying to make sense of the world? You've got Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach.
Call our toll-free number now.
Headlines, culture, and real conversation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Here's Pete and Greg.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. You can always be part of the conversation. Call or text. The number is the same, 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can leave a comment on the live stream. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the platform we still call Twitter. You can also download the Civic Media app right now if you haven't already. You can call, text, leave a voice message. You can listen to live programming. You can get your news. It's all right there for you in the Civic Media app, so download that today. If you've missed anything from the show, you missed our conversation with Anisha Stephen, you can go to civicmedia.us/shows, look for Nite Lite in the show page, and download episodes and catch up because we want you to be part of all of the fun. Still to come, we're going to be talking to Sherry Stoka, who is the owner and founder of Waitlist MD, a friend of the show, talking about GLPs, ones and twos, as well as just staying healthy, getting a good diet, and being healthy. That's all I got to say about that one. Sorry about that, Pete. I kind of just stopped right there. It just kind of happened. You're also muted, Pete.
I am having all kinds of technical issues tonight.
Oh, man, we
fellows
are a professional radio show where I stop talking and Pete is muted. But yeah, I'm gonna have a great time with that conversation coming up in just a little bit. But before we go any further, guys, what do you say we restate the question of the night?
Love it.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Okay, I have a question. Questions?
This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Questions.
What is your favorite athlete name? Pro athlete, college athlete, whatever. Give us a fun athlete name, folks. There's so many good ones out there, and we're about to read some of them. We got some great responses, some of them a little on the blue side, which is okay, and some of them actually serious. 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. You can text us the old-fashioned way on the text line, or you could go to the app, which is outstanding and very easy to use, the Civic Media app. And if you're watching the radio on YouTube, Facebook, or X Twitter, you can drop us a stream comment and let us know the name of or a really cool athlete name. It could be, I picked Lawyer Malloy. I think that's a great name. He was a safety for years for the New England Patriots. I just think it's a cool name, Lawyer Malloy. Love it.
I was always a fan of HaHa Clinton Dix, but
Oh yeah,
that was one. I will say, okay, so what I'm going to do right now, it's kind of like, there's always the most popular answer to the question. So I'm just going to say John from Madison, listening to WMDX, Brett from Brown Deer, listening to WAUK, Jay on the Facebook page. So far, they have all said the same name. I haven't seen anybody else say it. Dick Trickle. That's within context. That is FCC compliant. He was a person. He still is a person. But they picked Dick Trickle as the best name. We saw a lot of names based in fallacy, but
that's accurate.
I think that was the most popular one. Yep, we got a lot of, and we got a lot of references to the Key and Peele sketch. Hingle McCringleberry, which is fantastic. I said, of course, Le Carpatron Duke Marriott. So those were great picks there. So that's just sort of to kick things off. So Dick Trickle is taken care of.
Have fun with it, folks. And look, if you still think Dick Trickle is your favorite, you could share that too. We'll add it to the list. But and a reminder, folks, tomorrow night is our first ever Nite Lite movie club, and we encourage you to be part of it. We sort of retooled the popcorn pick of the week. We're still doing it, but it's in the form of the Nite Lite movie club. And tomorrow night's movie, if you want to play along, is The Sandlot. Perfect choice for the start of the baseball season here. So that's we're in the second hour tomorrow, we're going to talk about The Sandlot. And we welcome you. We encourage you to be part of the conversation, either via phone or text, and tell us your thoughts on The Sandlot and, be part of our Nite Lite movie club. First ever, tomorrow night. That's pretty cool, Greg.
I am very much looking forward to it because it's, again, I rewatched the movie between yesterday and today, and I think I might even watch some of it again tomorrow just to notes or whatnot. But forgot how much I forgot how much I love that movie, and I forgot how much it's just like it touches your inner soul. It just feels really good. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Looking forward to that very much so. The premiere of the Nite Lite Movie Club. Be part of the club, folks. Be part of the club. It doesn't cost anything to join. Just hang out and have a good time. So
talk about our favorite scenes, favorite lines, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be fun.
So on the Facebook page, I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing is I do not know the most about sports ever.
Okay.
So I don't know. I know which ones are Key and Peele sketches, like what was it? Trumpeter Joe on the live stream, DeBrickashaw Ferguson or Zayfrost Moss. That is, yeah. Yep. Nick on Facebook says Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't know if that's real.
That's what I was going to say. And he is real.
He's real?
He is really?
Yes.
Oh,
amazing.
Alabama.
Okay.
Alabama.
I think University of Alabama. Tim on the Facebook also says, and there's a bunch here. Marvelous Marv Thornberry, Merv Rettenmund. I feel like some of these are tricks for me to say dirty things on the air. Wayne Van Dorp. And I won't say the last one. I will. It's in context. I don't care. I'm not saying this last one. You can look it up on Facebook. What he put. I'm not saying this word live.
Which one, Greg?
No.
I'm just going to say Dizzy B word. That's what I'm going to say. Dizzy B word.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say. Tiff. This is a rodeo professional bull rider.
I like that one.
Ryan Dirt Eater.
Did you read Tim Baker's yet?
Pete LaCook. No, I read it incorrectly right there. I'm not saying it. Okay, I'm not going to say the way.
That's the guy's name. We can say that.
It's not his name. That's not a real name.
Is
that
swear
really
to you,
a name?
that is a real name. Pete LaCroix.
Great.
It is. He was in the 70s. He was a pitcher, and we would always giggle when the announcers had to say his name, as I'm sure the announcers did when he said his name.
JB, I love this. Carl Davis. Oh my God, that's funny. Let's see here. We got on the text line, Eric listening in Madison on WMDX says Harlan Huckleby, old Green Bay Packers. And then let's see who else here.
Are we done with? Are we not reading any more of the Facebook ones?
I was switching. I was going back and forth.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was variety is the spice of life.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
I just don't want to repeat any.
Oh no, it's let's see. No name here but they're listening on WMDX. Peekaboo Street for skiing, coolest
Love
professional name. Someone also on the text line said that as well. Peekaboo Street. That's Trigvy. Trigvy said that.
Trigvy, yeah.
Trigvy. I'm really happy I nailed that first name on the first try. I only know that because of Trigvy Olson. But thank you, Trigvy, for reaching out to us.
Trigvy Rude, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Trigvy Rude's a pretty cool name too, by the way.
I mean, that's an amazing name.
Yeah.
I would. They would say, "How do you pronounce your first name?" I would always say, "Guess," because there are no real discernible. I mean, there's a vowel at the end, but the Y doesn't qualify as a vowel because it doesn't qualify in the English language. But this is a stunning lack of vowels in this name. But
he should have gone into sports with a name like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Batting first, playing center field. Trigvy Rude.
Trigvy, rude. Monica in Mount Horeb listening on WMDX says boxer Kevin Kelly, a.k.a. the Flushing Flash. I know he was from Flushing, New York, but he had taken a lot of hits to the head to settle on that name. Sounds more like an intestinal condition after a late night Taco Bell run. There you
Ouch.
go. Dang.
That could have happened. Carmela in the 414 says, hey guys, the coolest. Pardon?
I was going to say, hey, Carmela.
Oh, coolest name in sports, Sterling Sharp. That is a good sports name. Thank you, Carmela. And
worst name, Shannon Sharp.
I'll go with Sterling any day of the week. Tyler from Wisconsin Rapids says Grim Natwick. Bad boy for the Boston Betty Boops.
Oh my God. Hey, Grim, are you in a band? Of course I'm in a band.
Oh, God, I love that. You got Monica. Let's say we got. Chris Casper gave you a shout out, Dom. He loved the Beatles, the Taxman soundtrack.
Thank you, Casper.
Again, a song about rock stars who don't want to pay their fair share. Let's see here. Bridget on the text line. I thought it was my wife at first, but it's not. It's just a person named Bridget. Thank you so much for listening. Babe Ruth. That's a fun name. And that's a funny thing about, we'll talk about more about this on tomorrow's show with the Sandlot, their references to Babe Ruth, but that was a fun name as well. We got, want to see here. We got, I got another Dick Trickle. Thank you, Chris Casper. And Chris Chris poses this question. Also, are race car drivers actually athletes? I think the cars are the athletes there. To be an athlete, you need to be athletic. Billboards is an activity. Billiards is an activity. I think you're just trying to rouse up some fights here, man, because I'm sorry, but I think they are sports. I've seen race car drivers have to train what they do in the gym to make their bodies first of all, stay in shape. They have to make sure they're athletes. I'm not going to say they are. You know what I mean?
Their heartbeats get. I would say, I know where Casper's going with this. I would disagree. I would say race car drivers are athletes more so than golfers or billiards players. I would say curling, people that do curling. That's you have to be physically. I bet their thighs burn.
He takes after curling too. He says not a sport. Same thing with curling. I absolutely disagree. I don't think you can play curling right now. If you tried to curl at the level of those athletes in the Olympics, you would want to go and dive into a frozen lake. So
take that, Casper.
For me personally, I think that they are athletes. They are world class athletes, and they are getting paid lots of money or getting gold medals or medals of certain alloys to perform their sport. So I'm not wading in that other than saying they're athletes. I'm fine. There we go.
Okay. Eric in Madison says Harlan Huckabee, old Green Bay Packers. I remember that name.
Yep.
And did you read Brett's text, Greg, from Brown Deer?
The one that just came in? No, again, we got another DeBrickashaw Ferguson wasn't
such a good name.
I figured.
Is that really? I thought DeBrickashaw Ferguson was from the Key and Peele thing. Is that really a
I think it is.
athlete?
Yeah, he played for the Jets. Wow.
Oh, he says it wasn't a Key and Peele name. He played for. Yeah. Okay.
Tell me that doesn't sound like one of the vast amounts of names. DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely. Boris on the Facebook says Dick Pohl. He was a pitcher for the Red Sox. Got another name there. Mike Desitel. This might be my favorite one. Buzz Nutter. Buzz Nutter.
What? That sounds obscene, but it's not.
Yep. And we got proof here that Kool-Aid McKinstry was a football player. I mean, he still might be. He played for the Saints. So it's just a lot of very interesting. Dave Roller. I mean, that's fun.
Robert Bro, Dave Roller. Yeah,
there we go.
That's a good name.
Those are some great names in there. Love that. Love the outreach here. I'm loving what I'm hearing from people. I think there were some more on the text lines, but I think we got them all there. So
here's another one on the text line from John. He put a Key and Peele. It's Peele. It's Key. It's Key. He says Jr. Juniors Junior. I love that sketch.
Oh, and Sydney Politics sent us some messages here. First of all, Happy New Year. And he said UFC fighter Andre Touchy Feely.
No.
Nickname Touchy, last name is Feely.
Come on.
There's no way that's real.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything. You want to tell a guy his name isn't his name and he works for the UFC? I ain't saying it.
I don't even mess with Sydney Politics.
Good job, Mr. Feely. Love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Love the work you do. Please don't punch me in the head. And then finally, Roger on the live stream says Oil Can Boyd. Just sounds like a guy who makes chewing tobacco while playing baseball. I mean, that name sounds amazing. So, All right. When we come back from the break, we'll be speaking to Sherry Stoka, from the owner and founder of Weightless MD, about GLPs, keeping a healthy diet, keeping a healthy nutrition plan. But that's all going to be here. Stay tuned. Stay close. You're listening to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. People are really coming to bat for DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
And I look at this. This is actually my dad. I didn't even realize until just a few weeks ago.
Trumpet Joe is your dad?
Yes.
Or DeBrickashaw Ferguson's your dad?
No, not DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
You're about that age.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, I didn't even realize. You told me a few weeks
ago. What did I say? I said, did I say Weightless MD? What did I say?
Weightless. It's way less.
But it's, well, okay.
Like way less.
Okay, then okay. I'm looking at how it's spelled. That's why I've been saying it like that.
How is it spelled?
Weightless. On the doc. Oh, yeah. So it's okay. So it's way less. Way less MD. Yeah. The website, the doc says weightless. So that's why I've been saying it like that. Hello, Sherry. Sorry for mispronouncing your business the entire show.
Oh, no. I mean,
It wasn't the entire show.
every single person mispronounces and misspells it. So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Your sons or one of them is tearing it up in soccer. You must be like the proudest mom in the world.
I mean, I know. It's, yeah. Yeah, I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah, my younger one is in Spain right now. He's playing with he plays with Inter Miami, and then he's still going to go to college, but he's been in the professional organization for a while.
Oh my goodness.
That is so cool. Oh man.
Yeah.
Has he talked to Messi at all? Messi?
Yeah, he plays, yeah, they share the whole, like, yeah, so.
Do they pal around?
I think you just blew Dominic's mind.
That is really cool. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's totally crazy. Like he's, because normally when you go in that system, you usually, especially when Messi came in, they took over the organization. And so now their mindset is like, you come here, you go pro. That's the European style. But like before it was like more Americanized. So it was like, okay, yes, you guys want to go to college? Yes, we absolutely will,
We have 10 seconds. 10 seconds to guess it.
Yeah. But now, okay.
You remember, Dom. I'm impressed. One of my all-time faves. Hey, welcome back to Nite Lite. I'm Pete Schwaba, sitting upstate from Greg Bach, who is coming to you from Racine. And Dom Lee, as he is affectionately called, is Lake Michigan adjacent in Madison in the studio. You can still get in on the fun. Your favorite athlete name. That's our question tonight. What is your favorite athlete name? You can go phallic like most of our immature listeners, or you can give an actual mature name like I did, Lawyer Malloy. Greg, I don't think, did you answer the question?
Yeah, I think I did. I did. I said, haha Clinton Dix.
Haha Clinton Dix, of course. All right, so
because I'm one of the immature unwashed bunch.
No, that's a good one though. Join the fun, folks. 855-752-4842, or text us on the app, or if you're watching the radio on the stream on YouTube, Facebook, or X Twitter, you can send us a stream comment. But right now, we're going to keep the show rolling and bring along one of our Nite Lite besties. She joins us periodically to talk about nutrition and diet and all kinds of fun, healthy stuff. She is the founder of Wayless MD and Wellness, and she joins us now over the stream, Sherry Stoka. Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
It's great to have you. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Great to be here.
Good. All right. So I'm just trying to figure out, I feel like GLPs we want to get into, but maybe we'll save that for after the news break. In the meantime, I have to ask you, in your email earlier, you talked about the Jello trick. What is the Jello trick? I kind of read about it, but I would love to hear it from you.
I mean, I knew you were going to ask me that because it's there is enough people that have asked me about that, including my family members. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to look into it a little bit. And it is the epitome of the dumbing down of America. I swear, it's like taking down, it's monopoly or taking advantage of the whole, everyone that's on GLPs. So, they try to twist it in a way that oh, it's a 0-calorie sweet. You still get the dessert. It's not going to fill you up because you're never hungry on GLPs. It has protein, which it really doesn't, and has one amino acid. So it doesn't really, it's not like a protein, dessert. So, it fills the stomach. So all of this nonsense, I mean, it's absolute nonsense. And then you get celebrities that back it up, right? So then it goes viral, and then everyone's trying it.
Well, and that's okay. So I guess, there's a whole host of things I could talk about when it comes to this topic. Cause I said earlier, I used to do not a comedy podcast, but a podcast that was comedic in value about weight loss, the weight loss system, everything that goes into this. I'm sure a lot of things you already know about because you are an expert in this field, but we are just seeing ad upon ad upon ad now on social media that is not only selling these products that seem to be straight up snake oil, but they are AIing celebrities to endorse it. I saw I saw one the other day that had Melissa McCarthy, and I'm like, wow, who is she suing right now? Because it has her. It has, and folks listening on the radio, I'm doing some pretty heavy duty air quotes here. It had Melissa McCarthy plugging a weight loss system that I don't think she has anything to do with. And I'm like, oh, if this is AI, I can believe in less in its validity. But like, how do folks even start to wade through all of the stuff out there?
You can't. You literally can't. I mean, I just had my sister send me this product, and I like immediately looked into it. It was terrible. It had like 17 celebrities that backed it up, which was, like you said, I never even thought about AI, but it was probably AI because it had like random scientific like PhDers to like, you know, real celebrities. So it was like a hodgepodge of like people backing it up. You know, you have to find your trusted sources. I mean, that's what it comes down to, because it's a mess out there right now.
Yeah.
Just going back to the Jell-O trick for a moment, you know, is this just a way of, I remember like in the 90s, you know, my wife and I would eat pasta. Oh, no fat, you know, like we can still gorge ourselves and not have any of the horrible. Is that what people are doing with the Jell-O trick? Is it a way of just to say, eventually you just have to say, I can't eat something, or I can't eat that, and I don't have to substitute it. I just have to learn to live without it.
Well, okay. So no, the Jell-O is a little bit different because it's food without calories, you know, and people, so there's like two kind of like pieces to it. You know, you can eat something that's somewhat sweet. It's kind of a dessert, and gelatin, like, you know, it's kind of like spongy. So it, like, when it goes in the stomach, it expands. So it will, I mean, I don't remember ever make me feel full, but that's kind of like their sales pitch to it. So that it helps you feel full. You get a treat when you're, rather than like having, you know, some like, you know, dessert from Dairy Queen. And again, they're looking at the market today. The market is different. The majority of people are on GLPs, and they don't want high dense foods anymore. They're looking for something sweet that's like lighter. And so they're like, okay, yeah, do this. If you're on a GLP, you can do it, but you can actually lose weight even if you're not on a GLP. So it's all marketing.
Wow.
And the thing too, like, I have to imagine that if it starts with a simple thing of, hey, you can have Jell-O and it can help you lose weight, and there you go. And then what happens in 6 weeks to, you know, a few months is someone comes up with a $50 Jell-O thing that says, you've got to try this because on top of the Jell-O, you're also going to get this. And people are going to say, well, I got to pay $50 for this high priced Jell-O because I want to lose. I mean,
I honestly, I can't believe what has happened with this Jell-O. I really can't. And
what a sentence! What a sentence!
It literally did. It is the dumbing down of America right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is.
That's crazy. Sherry Stoka is our guest. She is the founder of Wayless MD and Wellness, and a dietitian and nutritionist. And she joins us here periodically to talk about all things health. And we're going to continue that conversation after the news. And a reminder, folks, tomorrow night's movie for our first ever Nite Lite movie club, it's the popcorn pick of the week, is The Sandlot. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys have time to watch the film and be part of the conversation tomorrow night in hour number 2. We are coming right back with Sherry Stoka. This is Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on Nite Lite on the Civic Media Network.
All right.
Sherry, every once in a while I email you about, you know, things we could potentially talk about. And I love, this is maybe the third or fourth time since I've known you when I've asked you and you said, aside from GLP, full industry takeover, 3 question marks, and then a huge all capped G's. I love the emotion you bring to like what we're going to talk about. It's so
I know, because I'm so kind of like, I can't even believe like our system anymore. I honestly, it's scary. I mean, it's just, scary.
It's the fact that we, you know, I don't know if it's the politicians. No, it's because they're being bought off. It's not that they're afraid. It's that they're
exactly.
There's no major or viable attempt at any sort of guardrails whatsoever. I mean, I think I was talking about this yesterday. No, I was talking about before the show. this afternoon is that, like, I grew up in the 80s, and I remember the diet fad back. I remember basically, like, hey, would you like to lose weight? Here is some legal speed. Enjoy Dexatrim.
Right.
And this feels like that movement times 1,000, but with the internet hooked into it. So,
I mean, it's taken over. I mean, now they have like what's called the new FDA. So now the FDA just like approves things that whiffs through like the system. And so now they just came out with like 2 new oral GLPs in the last 2 weeks. Like, it's totally nuts.
Yeah, I saw
these things.
Yeah.
I mean, but the FDA doesn't test a lot of stuff, so that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, it's totally crazy.
It's amazing that I just see people I haven't seen in a while, and all of a sudden it's like they're half the size they used to be. And I've had friends that have gone on GLPs or Ozempic initially and put the weight right back on because their doctor said, I shouldn't keep you on this. I'm going to take you off this. And then they put it on. So I don't even know. Maybe we can ask you that in the next segment too. What is a healthy amount of time to be on that?
I mean, I have so many thoughts on GLPs as well. I mean, I have a ton of friends I refuse to do them. From like my first attempt probably in high school to lose weight to right now, I've probably gained and lost about 1,000 pounds. And that's not a joke. That's a real statement. And what I find with people personally, like from my experience, I don't know from you, Sherry, because you are an expert and people come to you for advice. But when I'm having conversations with people, it takes everything in me to not to say, you're not doing it right. You think this is going to solve your problem, but you're not doing it right. And I know people who are on Ozempic who take it, exercise, have a better diet, are trying. I know people who think Ozempic is just going to make them lose weight. And that's it. They don't do anything else because they think that shot's the magic cure. And I cannot get them to understand that it's a lifestyle change.
You can do all the right things. If you're not getting to the root cause, none of that matters. Yeah. And so that's kind of like been my thing since I started, is like the root cause,
Yeah.
And so the GLPs, they can help with the root cause, but like you have to know how to use them. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Also, it feels like we should just have a whole stockpile. There should be a law that says like, this is for people with diabetes. Nobody gets this. Nobody gets this pile. People who want to lose weight, you can have that, but you can't have this. This is for people who actually need this to survive. So,
I mean, listen, we could talk 1,000 million hours on this. Like it's crazy, I mean, because I sit here and talk about GLPs and how like people are doing it wrong, but I offer it. I manage 20 to 30 people a day. I am an absolute expert on GLPs. So that's where, because I absolutely feel they're game changers if you know what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have about 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Welcome back to Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba. Sitting downstate from me is Greg Bach. Dom, sometimes I think you point when your favorite part of the song is over. Like, we could come back a little earlier. You just wanted to hear that next verse.
It's true,
And when I saw Jason Sheff up here singing all those Chicago tunes, he didn't sing that one. And that was one I was kind of hoping from his Chicago days. Anyway, folks, we are back. This is Nite Lite, and we are in the middle of this insightful and really cool talk about diet and nutrition with our friend and creator of and founder of Wellness MD and Wellness, Sherry Stoka, who joins us over the stream. Sherry, all right, let's get into GLPs. We were talking a little bit about them at the break. You described it. You said we could talk about this GLP industry takeover. That's how you described it. Are they safe? And what did you mean by that? Did you mean that in a positive way or a negative way?
Negative way. Everyone is adjusting their business around the GLPs. Like you have GLP supplements that signal GLPs. You have food that hits the GLP receptors. You have like everything is catered now around the keywords. I mean, it's taken over, and it's not just weight loss anymore. I mean, they've been approved for kidney disease, cardiovascular disease. Now they're looking into GLPs for addiction. So it's a complete takeover.
Forgive the cynicism of this question, and please, as an expert, tell me that I'm wrong. You mentioned the new FDA. Are these things being approved so people can just lose weight and say, "Like, God, that could totally help with this. The GLPs can help with that. Like, it can help with brain fog." Or do they have legitimate applications to those ailments and problems? Or is it just the, like, I'll say you have this, wink, wink, so I can get you a GLP?
Yeah, it's a great question because what we ignore from a healthcare American national perspective is root cause disease. Every disease, I mean, not every, right? There's genetic and there's like some one-offs and nuances, but every single, and again, I said every, but it's not every, starts with metabolic dysfunction, which basically is like insulin resistance. So like Alzheimer's, insulin resistance, kidney disease, insulin resistance, diabetes, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, insulin, like everything comes from the root cause. That is the root cause. So of course it's going to help everything because it does address the root cause. I mean, it improves insulin sensitivity. Over 90% of people are insulin resistant. So you're addressing the root cause, and then that's where it gets a little sketchy because it's like, okay, what are you doing with that information and that medication?
Previously, on one of your appearances here, Sherry, I asked you how you go low carb and still get enough fiber in your diet. And when we spoke or swapped emails earlier, you mentioned managing proteins while on GLPs. How is that a challenge for people on GLPs to get enough protein, or do they get too much?
I know. I wanted to bring that up too, because I think it's so funny. Again, it's just funny because, like it's all around the GLPs. Now everyone is awakened to the fact that like we need to eat protein because the madness out there is that GLPs cause muscle mass. I mean, you've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it. GLPs cause muscle mass. You look at the studies, 40% muscle loss versus fat. So now people are like, oh my gosh, since the majority of the population are on it, they're like, I need to eat more protein. When the fact of the matter is that, are we protein deficient? I think the balance is just off. I think we eat enough protein. I just think we eat too many carbs as it relates to protein. And when it comes to the GLPs innately absolutely do not cause muscle loss. That is not what they are there to do. There is not one study shows that GLP peptides cause muscle loss. It is what people do when they go on a GLP. They stop eating. They eat crap. They still eat they go to McDonald's and have 400 calories a day, and they're not getting any nutrition, but they're losing weight because they're losing muscle mass because they're not doing all the other stuff. So that's where again, it's like it's this massive conundrum of like information going out there that is just confusing people.
Well, I think too. I mean, and again, please, anything I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong. I've done my research. I hated saying that out loud, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, people just see these as the silver bullet, the magic pill. They see like, well, if I just start, whether it's taking a pill or taking a shot, I'm going to start losing weight and it's going to be great. I don't have to do anything else. Done. Because
100%. Yes. That is our mentality in the United States of America. Yes.
How many people, Sherry, walk into your building like a new client and just say, I want a GLP or I want Ozempic because they just think,
majority of people now.
Yeah, because they think that's going to fix, again, air quotes, fix them when we can talk about the root cause as far as disease. I personally feel like when it comes to this topic, the root cause is looking at, what are your habits throughout the day as far as eating goes? What are you eating? How are you eating? And something you said, Pete, earlier in the previous segment, I personally don't agree with that. I don't think if you have a sense of mind to want to change at least your diet and you want to lose some weight, and that's great, you shouldn't have to restrict yourself from any food. It's always about your portions. It's always about, like, I can have pizza tonight. I'll have 2 pieces of pizza, but I won't eat an entire pizza driving home.
That's no fun.
I mean, and that's something I used to do. I would eat an entire pizza from Milwaukee to Kenosha in my car, and guess what? I gained weight. But I learned that I can eat pizza, but I just can't eat as much as I want. I mean, of course, if there's an allergy or something of the sort, there's certain things you probably need to say goodbye to. But again, that thing of like people want to restrict themselves from certain foods when it's more about like, hey man, have ice cream once a week, have a scoop or 2, and then be good. You don't have to eat the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%. I mean, what I will tell you is the majority of people don't want my nutrition help. They just don't. I mean, unfortunately, they don't. Like, and I have conversations because I have like health coaches. I have nutrition. Like, that's what we want to help with.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to waste our time if people aren't. You have to be ready for that. So the majority are 100% looking at it as this is going to help me lose weight, and I'm gonna maybe make some changes, but I'm going to continue the majority of what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Wow. Go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to reintroduce you. You're our nutritionist and dietitian expert, and you are the founder of Wayless MD, which leads me to a question that might contradict a little bit what Greg said. I agree it's about portions to some extent, but to me, I feel best when I do low carb. I don't feel inflamed. My whole goal now is to not have inflammation in my body. And for me, it's carbs that do that. Is that normal? And if you do, like Greg said, if you do eat small portions, will you still experience inflammation even if you're eating carbs or bad carbs, should I say,
well, you
like
have
pizza
to
or pasta?
meet people where they're at. You have to meet people where they're at. So like if Greg's, like you said, if he's eating, 3, I don't remember exactly what you said, but it's just an example. If you're eating 3 pizzas a day and you go down to 1, that's a huge change. So you have to meet people where they're at. And my goal is to get people on low carb because one day we're all going to realize that we don't need them. I mean, it's just, and it's actually the most easiest fix to fix all these diseases, but we're so far removed because of the food, the poison that is out there, that you have to tiptoe into it with people because they're addicted to food. It's not even about, oh, okay, yeah, let's just eat real food. That's nowhere to be found. And then yet they put these chemicals in the food to make you addicted. So we have to wean people off of the crack cocaine. Like it's a mess.
And I think also the thing too is that when you come to and my first thought is Michelle Obama when she just said, hey kids, try a vegetable, and you say to anyone, hey, maybe take down your carbs, maybe less sugar, maybe less red meat, something that will, like, coming from an expert or just someone of concern with just a small piece of advice, especially in America, they can go off the rails and say, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat a cow while it's still alive, while I'm making, they take it as such a challenge to their individualism or their patriotism or just everything about them, when I'm just trying to say, hey, eat less bread. I'm not saying don't eat bread at all. I'm just saying maybe don't eat a sandwich at every single meal. Just like take it down a little. And as you said, meet yourself with, set small goals. I feel like the other thing too is we live in this society that we can see someone on television lose 200 pounds in a few weeks on a program that would cost any one of us tens of thousands of dollars to do. Plus, not to mention the fact losing that much weight that quickly, I think is very unhealthy. But people do not want to, they want to set these really extreme goals. And when they don't meet them, they feel like failures. And then they go back. And that's the problem. You can't say to them, hey, man, just make a small goal this week. Go for one walk this week.
That's very true, because I don't have a lot of them, but I have a handful of people that I'm starting to worry about their weight because they're underweight. Yeah. So, it's all about, it is all about like managing and talking through these things, but like I can't now, like someone came in the other day and I was like, whoa, do you should we start weaning you off? Absolutely not. We're not weaning off of it. So now you get the extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sherry, before we let you go, tell us a little bit about, like, if somebody comes into Wayless MD and wellness, how do you get them, like, you're very attentive to your patients, but how do you get them to keep the weight off? What is your number one goal if you're not using a GLP, or if you are using a GLP?
Well, no matter what, most people have to go through some type of program to get to a healthier state. I say metabolic health. I know that means like who knows what to anyone, but we assess metabolic health. And if you start a program and lose 50 pounds and you're still incredibly metabolically unhealthy, you're not going to keep the weight off. So we're recommending programs that we feel people need to get them into that healthier state in order you build that resilience. I'm metabolically healthy. When I go on vacation and overeat, I don't gain weight because I'm metabolically healthy. So that's what our goal is.
Yeah.
That's great. If I could ask you one more question, I'm kind of doing this low carb thing at the moment. What about Quest bars? We've got about a minute left. Are those? I know they're. Oh no. Okay, never mind. You just answered.
You mean a fancy Snickers bar, Pete?
A chemically induced treat.
Okay.
Oh, we got to wrap it. We have about 30 seconds.
Okay. I'm just saying xylitol. I don't know how you are not crawled over and dying in pain from all the xylitol that is in those products.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
Do you get extreme stomach aches when you eat those?
Well, I'm so darn muscular. It's tough for those chemical. No, I don't know. But I'm not going to eat them anymore, thanks to you. Sherry, as always, thank you so much.
I am here to help you. Reach out to me. I am here to help you.
You're awesome. And thank you, as always, for your insights.
You guys are great. Love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon, I hope. Check out Wayless MD and Wellness and seek the insults and the consultations of Sherry Stoka. We are coming right back for the nightcap on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network.
She was fantastic.
Yeah, she's fun. She's a great guest.
She did leave. I don't know if it did not upload, so we might need to send her that thing again. Because I think there's a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of great stuff in that interview.
Totally.
I think both Anisha and Sherry both have great moments in that interview.
Yeah, agreed. Dom, do you need her email?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I was going to ask her if she wanted you and me to be like celebrity
that'd be fun.
Spokespeople,
I've thought about that.
I'm Greg Bach of Nite Lite with Greg Bach or Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach. I'm here with Wayless.
Right.
I would absolutely refuse a GLP.
Get some free GLPs, baby.
Although I think that one of my medications has because one of my medications has I always thought GLPs were appetite inhibitors. I didn't realize they made you lose. Yeah, but she's also said they make you lose muscle. Did I hear that correctly?
I thought she said that too, but I thought Ozempic did that as well. But
yeah, I will do everything not to be on a GLP. I just don't think it's the answer. I just
I'm
don't.
with you.
I think it's the answer. I think it's not the answer. It's part of an overall solution if people sit down and plot out what they want to get done with a time when they come off of that medication, and then they can be like, all right, now I have my right eating and I exercise. And it's like people go to Weight Watchers or, again, I could talk about this for years.
No, you're right. Or if they've tried everything else and it's a health crisis, like, you know.
Well, it's the new lap band surgery. Everyone wanted to get lap band surgery. And
do you know Mike Schmidt, Greg? I've mentioned him to you before. He's on this show.
Yeah.
He does this great joke where he said, he was really heavy, like probably 450 or whatever, and he went on that surgery where the stomach, whatever they call it, and people come up, oh, you look great. What did you do? Like, well, yeah, I watch my diet and I work out a little bit. I try to sleep more. I pay attention to nutrition. Oh, and I also had that surgery where they shrink your stomach down to the size of a coin purse.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I know somebody who got lap band surgery and lost a bunch of weight, and then he started eating like crud again. And guess what happens? And on top of it, he got the lap band surgery and got cosmetic surgery to remove the excess skin because he lost weight at such a phenomenally quick rate that it was hanging off of him. So he paid money for the surgery. He paid money for the cosmetic surgery. And then guess what happened? Wait for it. Guess what happened?
I know.
He gained the weight back, and I'm not kidding you, he looked like a square pillow because his body was fundamentally changed.
10 seconds.
Wow.
Welcome back to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach here on the Civic Media Network. My name is Greg Bach, sitting in Radio Park in lovely Racine right now with a Brewers victory over the Tampa Bay, who cares, 8-2. Upstate from us, upstate. I like that. It sounds fancy, Pete. In upstate Wisconsin is Pete Schwaba, and over yonder, due west, is Dom Lee on the ones and twos. This is the Yodder Hay Triangle for you tonight. We're so happy you're joining us. Don't worry, when we're done, there's still lots of great programming here on Civic Media, so stick around. Listen. You can also download the Civic Media app and listen to shows, listen to the music stations we have. You can get your news, you can get sports, weather, all those great things. And when we have a text to win contest, you can participate using that app. So download the app right now. Be a part of the fun. It's absolutely free. Tomorrow's episode, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow for a couple of reasons. One, Pete and I are taking part in what's called a brain rot quiz that has been engineered by young Domle up in Madison. So we're doing that quiz. And then we will be premiering the Nite Lite Movie Club, where we'll be talking about the film The Sandlot. I am super looking forward to tomorrow.
That is exciting. It's kind of a revamped popcorn pick. That is our popcorn pick of the week, and it's part of the Nite Lite Movie Club. And I'm just excited to talk about that movie again. It's just such a great film,
And to Mr. Brett in Brown Deer listening on WAUK, he says, "Did you guys just give me homework? That's a radio first. I'll watch The Sandlot tonight. I don't want to fail." It wasn't homework. You can definitely, you can watch. You don't have to watch, but I think it's more fun if you do.
I agree. You can go off memory if you want. I'd still rather have people chime in, and absolutely.
I have probably watched The Sandlot 20, 30 times in my life. And I watched it this week, and there were still moments like, I totally forgot about that.
Oh, wow.
There's that little moment, that little line, that little thing that, it always happens. It's great. So tomorrow will be the premiere of the Nite Lite Movie Club, as well as a brain rot quiz. We'll get your top 3 stories. We'll get your nightcap. It's great. Stick around for that. But while I'm talking about the nightcap, Pete, I think it's time to get on some fancy smoking jackets, turn the lights down, and let's move our way into the final segment of the evening. Would you, Dom?
It's time to wind it down. This is Nightcap with Greg and Pete.
Oh, yeah.
I need a pipe right now.
Yes.
Full pajamas, slippers, and a bathrobe like dudes used to wear in the 40s in movies, which nobody ever wears.
I was going to say, I think the last time I went to bed in full pajamas, I was like 12. It was Christmas Eve. Nowadays that just feels so constricting. But we have a few more comments on the text line here from Casper in Madison again. He's pushing back on my statement. He says, being highly skilled at an activity does not equate to athleticism. That's all I'm saying. Well, You've said it.
I kind of agree with that, but
I totally disagree.
I just disagree with them on the racing.
Here's the thing is, I don't think a single one of you would walk up to any of those referred sports and say to their faces, "You're not an athlete." None of you would do that. Period. And if you won't say that, because I don't want to get hit in the face by a curler. Also, Eric in Madison on WMDX, thank you so much for bringing up this name. And I'm going to add one, Spud Webb. And I'm going to, and he was one half of the tiny point guards of the 80s in basketball, Muggsy Bogues.
Let's not forget Spuds McKenzie.
Let's not forget Spuds McKenzie. Let's also not forget Air Bud. Air Bud.
A lot of dogs could dunk back then. It was weird.
It was really a dog-centric time in the NBA. I really miss those days. I really, really do. But yeah, we really appreciate that. And Mark in Prairie du Sac says Dick Trickle got a mention on that 70s show. Topher Grace is Eric embarrassed his show mom Kitty by dropping the name. It's true. But was he a race car driver in the 70s? I thought it was the 80s.
What do I know?
I thought Debrickashaw Ferguson was a comedic name. I didn't know. So what do I know about sports? So
Dave in Madison in the 608 says Dick Trickle was so athletic he could smoke cigarettes during caution laps. He also called 911 to report his own suicide from a cemetery. Is that true?
I have no idea. That feels like a whole heap and helping of funny right there. And if it's not funny, I apologize for laughing at such a serious topic.
That's tragic.
Let me just see here if we got any other names on the Facebook. Nope, that's it. We had
good, yeah.
We had one more, but it's not loaded. Oh yeah, another Key and Peele. Junior. All right, Pete, what did you learn tonight?
Man, I learned. I always learn stuff from Sherry. That's kind of a no-brainer. But I did learn. I learned that Pete Hegseth and Christy Nome. I don't know. I didn't learn anything, Greg. This is a first.
What? You learn things. Knock it off.
I learned more about GLPs. I will say that. And then I can't. And you know what? Simply put, I can't have Quest bars anymore if I need something sweet when I'm cutting back on carbs. Thank you to Sherry Stoka.
Have a piece of fruit. Nice piece of fruit.
Yeah, I do eat fruit. I love fruit.
Just trying to help here. All right. I learned that the IRS is an important appendage in the American governmental system, and that by not funding it is bad for everybody, but not rich people, because rich people are more important than we are. And then it was great to meet Sherry. I could talk to her for 5 hours. She'd be sick of me around hour.
Give her a call.
Like 30 minutes into the conversation.
and she knows
Sherry, it's
messy.
Greg again.
She knows messy, you know.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
That's right.
All right, just calm
That's what
down,
Dom learned tonight.
Yeah,
that's what I learned. That was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Dave on the text line, Madison on WMDX says, "Not funny, Greg, hometown hero." I don't know what that means.
Is he from Madison?
Is Dick Trickle from Madison? I have no idea. But
yeah, I think Dave.
I did not mean any disrespect, Dave in Madison. So, I watched that racing when I was a kid. I was just asking a question. So,
Dave is from Christmas City, and he could take a joke. I think he's having fun.
Ring-a-ding-ding. Ring-a-ding-ding.
I got
Christmas
the mistletoe
City.
ready, guys, whenever you want to drive up.
All right. Thank you very much to Dominic and Tucker, traffic and engineering. Without your fine work, these microphones do not work, and we're talking into nothingness. But I want to thank everybody who called, texted on the live stream, everyone who called in the show. I want to thank Anisha, Stephen, as well as Sherry Stoka for being here on the show tonight. Remember, tomorrow, Brain Rock Quiz, as well as the inaugural movie club for Nite Lite here on Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba and Greg Bach on the Civic Media Network. Pete, say goodnight to the folks.
Good night, Wisconsin.